So today we're going to talk about some things that surprised my friend here when he newly retired just a few months ago. Robbie and I have spent some time the last few weeks sharing with you our worries about retirement and maybe the mindsets that are keeping people like us from retiring. But today we're going to talk about some surprises, mostly good surprises, that Bob's found in his last few months. Hi, I'm Rich Carter, and you found my channel before it's too late. Now, typically sitting beside me is my beautiful wife, Robbie, but today I've got my friend Bob instead. Robbie's a little tied up, so decided to take this opportunity to get the perspective of someone who's recently gone through this next step in life and went from the working world to being a retired guy. And he's going to talk to us about some surprises that he's encountered in the last few months. So if you get anything from this video, it'd be great if you'd like it and subscribe to our channel. Our intention is to keep moving in this vein, talking about our journey as we move towards retirement and getting the perspective of others that are where we're at and people like Bob who are already on to that next phase and seeing how we can make it easier for everybody going forward. So again, subscribe to our channel so you can keep up, hit that notification bell, and hopefully leave us a comment if we're missing something, if you have a question, if Bob misses something when he talks about his surprises, that if you're a newly retired person and you've got something to add, we'd love to hear about that in the comment section. All right, so like I said, this is my friend Bob. Bob and I go to church together. We do some volunteer work together, and Bob also volunteers with Robbie at the food pantry at our church. So Bob just retired in May.
Right.
Yeah, after a pretty long career. And tell us a little bit more about yourself, Bob.
Well, like Rich said, I retired 4 months ago. I spent the last 16 years of my career at a local company here. I worked in the IT department, but my entire career was IT, different facets of the IT world. I enjoyed my career. I enjoyed the work that I did. I enjoyed going to work every day. It wasn't a drudge. I liked my life. But at some point, you just decide, I've done enough. I'm ready to make a change. We thought about it. We prayed about it. We talked to our financial guy, and we decided we could make this happen. So we took the plunge. And I gave my employer about a 5-month notice and said, I'm going to retire. And I did that. All the time I've been working, thinking about retirement, dreaming about retirement, I never really knew what to expect because I had never done it before. So once I did take that plunge, I did find some things that were surprising that I'm not so sure I was ready for.
So we've talked, Robbie and I talked and I know you've watched some of our videos.
Yeah.
We talked about people that are afraid to retire because they think they're going to be bored.
Right.
So for you, that's kind of been a surprise, right?
One of the surprises was that almost instantly, I found things to do to replace the time, the 48 or 50 hours, whatever it was, that I was spending working for someone else. I found things to do to fill that up, and I don't feel a single bit of angst over not having anything to do.
And some of that is volunteering and you told me that you ride for the Patriot Guard.
I ride for the Patriot Guard, and that has taken up a nice little bit of time. I wasn't even aware of that before I retired. I had never heard of it. And probably 2 weeks after I retired, I read something somewhere. I looked it up and I reported to a funeral, never having ridden with them. So that felt like a real niche. So I've been doing that a couple of times a week, as needed.
So clearly you worried a little bit about being bored, but the surprise has been not a problem.
That was not a problem.
Okay. Another thing that we mentioned in one of our videos was that people believe that their job will miss them.
Yeah.
or maybe and that they're going to miss their job a lot
Right.
because of how invested they were in it.
Hmm.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't miss the job itself. I miss people. I worked at my last job for a decade and a half, and so I made some good friends with people that I worked with. So yes, I miss people, and I still communicate with them, text and calls, and I still get to communicate with them somewhat. So I miss the people, but I don't miss the grind. I don't miss getting up at 4 every morning to go to work. I don't.
Right.
That doesn't. I don't miss that a bit.
Okay. And what about the job? I mean, one of the things we talked about was sometimes it's our ego that makes us think we're irreplaceable. What
We're
have you?
irreplaceable.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
irreplaceable. What have you found in that area?
Well, my company did find someone to replace me. I've
Took them
been
about 5 minutes, I suppose.
well. I don't know. It took. They didn't have anyone when I left, but they did find someone. Um, and they've only called me twice in 4 months. They've only called me with questions 2 times. So is that good for your ego or bad for your ego? I don't know.
How's it been for you?
It's been okay. It's helped me to understand. Okay, I did my work. I did what they asked me to do, but they could find somebody else to do it just as easily as I did. So they probably don't miss me. But on the same other hand, I don't miss going to work every day either. So it's probably fair.
Win-win.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Robbie and I have talked in the past about how, people of our generation, around our age, we kind of felt like we were obligated to be at
Hmm.
work, and even felt guilty if something came up and we had to call off. So, since you've now retired, are you feeling any of that guilt of not being there anymore?
No, I really am not. Um, every once in a while, I figure I have to pinch myself to. Is this a dream? Do I do I really have to go to work, or can I stay home today? There have been a couple of times where I've woken up early and panicked because it was past my getting up time. Ah, I overslept and realized no, I don't have to get up anymore. So, but sometimes, yes, I feel like I have to just pinch myself, and the idea of that guilt of not going to work is not nearly as bad as I thought it would be.
Pleasant surprise
It's
then.
a very pleasant surprise. Yes.
I think another thing that keeps people from retiring, and I believe we've talked about it before, is just kind of the fear of the unknown. Like,
Mm-hmm.
your day's pretty structured, and you know what your week's going to look like. You may look like what your month, and you might even have to plan your vacations a year out.
Right.
So people don't do it because of the sense of the unknown. So, how's that experience been for you?
Well, the best analogy I can think of for the last 10 or so years that I worked, I I sensed retirement as being stepping off a cliff. Once you say I'm retiring, I'm quitting, I'm walking away, you just start a free fall and you can't stop yourself. You can't say, oh, I take that back. I'm gonna go back to work. So I always seemed like it was like stepping off a cliff. But in reality, that wasn't a problem. I've not had that fear or that worry, or uh, so that's a very pleasant surprise. That
Well,
anxiety just isn't there like I assumed it would be.
and some of that, I'm sure, comes from your ability to be able to fill your time,
Yes, yes,
right? And it doesn't feel like you're floating, getting ready to crash at the bottom of that cliff because
right.
you've got other things to keep you going.
I'm busy. Yeah, I've got things to do.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think then the last maybe surprise is, Robbie and I have talked about how health is an issue for people of our age,
Mm-hmm.
and it, for us, and I know for you too, faith is a big part of
It
your
is.
walk, of your daily walk.
It is.
And you mentioned to me as we were preparing for this that one of the surprising things for you is maybe how blessed you feel that God has put you in this spot, in this shape.
Yes, yes. It's when I think about it, I just have this feeling, this sense of just being, just feeling so blessed that God has provided me the ability to do this. I still have my health. My mind is probably 75 or 80% still there. Uh, I, I'm able to get up and do things and move, and God has just blessed me in ways beyond what I ever thought possible. Certainly more than I deserve. But this blessing has just been so pronounced and so overwhelming to me.
That you almost feel like it's a surprise
It's just, yes,
how blessed you
yes.
are.
Just God is so merciful and blesses us again beyond what we deserve. So
Okay.
I just feel blessed.
Well, and that's awesome. And I'm hoping that that's the, as again, as Robbie and I contemplate, what our near future is going to look like. Um, I'm hoping that I feel that same way. I mean, I have my health now, and you said 75, 80% there. I would challenge you.
Well,
I think you're a little more there than that. From what I know, you seem to be pretty much all there.
well, I hope so, but as we get older, it's hard to remember things. Have you ever walked into a room and you asked yourself, "Why did I come in here? I was coming in here for something. What was it?"
For sure.
That's
Yeah, that's
that's
for sure.
that
Yeah.
that's my thought process.
Okay. All right. Well, there's 4 or 5 things that have, I would say, mostly pleasantly
Yes, very much
surprised
so.
Bob as he spent his first 4 months in retirement. And I guess just to give you maybe a little preview, I think the plan going forward is every once in a while I'm going to find someone out there who's already on to that next step, whether it's for 4 months or 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe even people that have retired from owning their own business, kind of and trying to get a different perspective from everybody on what the steps are involved as they move towards that big milestone. And I hope you guys will come along for the journey. So again, we really appreciate you taking the time to watch our content. It'd be great if you'd like the videos and subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. And Bob, I really appreciate you taking the time. And
I appreciate the opportunity.
yeah, and again, thanks everybody for watching, and God bless you all.
Peace.